Welcome. You are listening to the Louie Minor Show. I'm your host, Commissioner Louie Minor. Today is June 3rd, 2023. Happy Pride Month. We have a lot of things that we are going to cover, so let's get started. Let's start off with the agenda for June 5th, 2023 for the regular meeting of the Bell County Commissioners Court. First item on the agenda is the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance. Then we go to the consent agenda. Consider approval of the minutes for May 22nd, 2023. Budget, personnel amendments, claims, accounts payable, payroll, restitution, jury pay. Then we have D, consider authorizing the county judge to enter into a contract with Allied Associates Commercial Floors using buy board contract number 642-21 for Tate Bolted Ridge raised floor system with a 1,500 panel and carpet for the communications center. The cost includes removal of current flooring system, assembly, install the new system and carpet. The cost is $112,557.80 with an appropriate FY23 CIP budget amendment. Then E, now remember we're still on the consent agenda, consider authorizing the purchase of two 2024 Freightliner dump trailers for buy board contract number 601-19 with Doggett Freightliner of South Texas LLC for a cost of $302,812 for the Road and Bridge Department. Then we go from the consent agenda to 4, consider a proclamation declaring June 23rd as Elder Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. Consider a proclamation proclaiming June as LGBT Pride Month. 6, consider authorizing a bailiff for the Commissioners Court meeting. 7, county engineer, consider and approve the final plat for Denman's Twin Mountain S4, amending plat number 1, being 1.012 acres, Lot 1, Block 1, subdivision located within ETJ, City of Temple, Bell County, Precinct 1. Consider and approve preliminary plat of the Honey Ridge, being 50 acres, 35 lots, 1 block subdivision located in Bell County, Precinct 1. Then we have Commissioners Court announcements. That's the regular agenda. Now for the workshop immediately following, we'll have county reports and updates, discuss CIP projects. Then we have discuss Central Bell Volunteer Fire Department, Nolanville Fire Department. Next item would be discuss board appointments, trustees, Central County Services. Then discuss appointments for the Bell County Child Welfare Board. Then in the afternoon at 1:30, update on the 88th legislative session. Discuss Bell County authorization to litigate City of Killeen and appeal. Then we have, that's everything for Monday. And then on Wednesday, June 7th, we have a Commissioners Court budget workshop where we will just be discussing magistration. And I'll get into that here in a little bit. So you did hear me correctly that on the agenda for item 5, consider a proclamation proclaiming June as LGBT Pride Month. That is true and correct. Now, you would probably think to yourself, why would a Republican majority commissioners court put that on there? Well, I'm going to tell you how that got on there. We don't have a process for proclamations. Typically, the way things have been presented since I've been on there, and I think they've been happening like this for quite some time, is that an individual in the community or an organization wants a proclamation read by the commissioner's court. They request it. The verbiage gets submitted to the county judge, and as long as the judge or a commissioner supports that, then it'll come on the agenda. It's been fairly benign, no issues, no controversy with any agenda items for proclamations. Matter of fact, the proclamation will get read, and the individual will come up and make a statement or two, and then we take a picture as a commissioner's court. We all sign it, and it gets put on the website. I'm going to assume that I don't know what's going to happen on Monday, because I don't think that any of the other commissioners have ever supported LGBT community, but this will be their first opportunity, and we'll see what happens on that. But Irene Andrews, she ran for county commissioner many years ago, very active, retired school teacher. Her wife was on Nolanville City Council for many years, Joan Henshaw. And she, like I said, she's been an activist in the community for quite some time. And so she wanted to make sure that the county recognized Pride Month. So this is the proclamation that she submitted that'll be read aloud on Monday. So if you can attend, please attend. Like I said, this is the first time we have ever done this at the Commissioner's Court. Proclamation recognizing June as Pride Month. Whereas the Bell County community values unity, respect, and inclusivity for all residents, regardless of their background or beliefs, and affirms that everyone has a right to live without fear or prejudice, discrimination, violence, or hatred. And whereas it is essential to foster an environment where every citizen feels respected, supported, and included, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. And whereas we recognize the valuable contribution made by individuals within the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, plus community to the fabric of our society, including those areas of arts, culture, business, military service, and philanthropy. And whereas it is essential that LGBTQ plus use are supported and that our community strives to prevent their mistreatment and stigmatism in our society that contributes to the high suicide rate among those youths. And whereas the month of June holds historical significance as it commemorates the anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising of June of 1969, a pivotal moment in the LGBTQ plus rights movement, which shaped our nation's journey toward the greater equality and understanding, whereas proclaiming June as Pride Month reminds us to commemorate the courageous individuals who have fought and achieved the great American promise that all people can live with dignity and fairness under the law, and whereas the commemorative month provides an opportunity to foster dialogue, and expand our understanding about the experiences, challenges, and contributions of LGBTQ plus individuals within our community. Now, therefore, I, Judge Blackburn, Bell County Commissioner's Court, do hereby proclaim June as Pride Month in Bell County. So that is what was submitted to be read on Monday. And yeah, we'll see what happens. And this is not done in a vacuum. This Pride Month, there has been a lot of anti-LGBT legislation that was pushed down at the Capitol here in the state of Texas. And it, to me, it just seems like that there's been a backlash of LGBT rights, LGBT pride. Just a few months ago, there was a backlash with Budweiser that sent a can to a transgender social media influencer. One can to that influencer who put it online. And then next thing you know, there's a nationwide boycott for Budweiser with a lot of people that didn't support that. Then you look at Target. Target started getting a lot of backlash for having a Pride section, selling Pride memorabilia for in their stores. And just this morning, I got an email from Walmart saying it's Pride Month. You know, here's our Pride collection. I was in HEB in Belton yesterday and going through there. They have their seasonal, stuff, a lot of summer stuff and swimming stuff. But I saw a pillow, Pride pillow there, and a couple other Pride things. So celebration of Pride has filtered down to, our retail stores, to our local stores. It's a great thing to support, but they can also make money doing it. So I don't know where all this backlash has been coming from, but even speaking of backlash, that came out on Monday, or I'm sorry, yesterday on Friday. The agenda goes out to the public to let them know what is on the agenda for Monday. And I received an email on my political campaign website from a David Tribes, I guess. It's spelt a little different, but I'm assuming it's Tribes or Trabes. And it says, I saw your agenda item, LGBTQ month for June. Shame on you. And then he quoted some Bible verses. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, and put the darkness for light and the light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. And then another one, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness men who hold the truth. Unrighteousness, jump down to the pages. And then he just put some other stuff, Bible verses. And yeah, I get it. There's going to be people that don't agree with it. But this is not just your government. This is not just your county or your city or your state. This is our state, our country, our city, our county as well. So we have an equal right to celebrate, to enjoy the freedoms, enjoy the space to love who we want to love, free of discrimination and intimidation. And yeah, I mean, I think you should look at what church you're going to. If your church is preaching hate, maybe you need to look at getting a different church, because the God, Jesus, that I'm aware of didn't hate anyone. Said he loved his neighbor. So that, anyways, we'll see what happens on Monday. I'm assuming the commissioners might say something, or they may not. But I truly don't know. It should be a benign thing, but the climate of the time of the state on anything LGBT. City of Nolanville issued a proclamation for Pride Month, and underneath the only overpass in Nolanville, they have lights that light up, and they have them lit up rainbow color in recognition of Pride Month. So thank you to the leaders of Nolanville. I appreciate that. It is your support is not unnoticed, but we need to get that throughout the rest of the county. And I think it's a big step that the county does this. And representation matters. I've told people this a couple of times. It matters having people in positions to make these choices, to put these things front and center, because they're important. It's not just a piece of paper. This recognition is important for so many reasons, for our young and our old, to let people know that it's okay. You don't have to hide. You're supported and you're loved. And that's what I think that proclamation on Monday is going to say to our community, that you are loved, you're welcomed, you're supported. Live and thrive in Bell County. That's what that proclamation is saying to the community. I would expect that there's going to be some people there protesting that, and that's their right. But it's also my right to not care what they say. So tune in for that. It's going to be very important. And also, if you go to the historic courthouse right now and look up to my office, it's not hard to find. It's the second floor. If you're standing in front of the courthouse where the Confederate statue is, second floor, I put up a pride flag. And I also put up a Juneteenth flag for the month of June. Now, I did think about not putting it up at all. You know, that's a place, that's our government building. It's historic. But also, if those flags offend anyone, it doesn't. What should be offensive is the Confederate statue being there. That's what should be offensive, not a gay pride flag, not a Juneteenth flag. That Confederate statue should be offensive. So I felt it appropriate to put it there. It's my right to put it there. So that's what I did. and it'll hang there until I take it down. So these are things that people in our community want done, support, and that's why I'm their voice. I'm there working for the people, standing up for the minority, standing up for the disenfranchised. That's my role as your commissioner, to make sure that your voice is heard and to listen to you. So now we'll switch topics and speak about something that's been on the burner for quite some time, but we're finally going to be talking about it on June 7th. We have a workshop scheduled with the Commissioner's Court at 12 o'clock lunchtime to discuss magistration. And many of y'all probably have a question. What is magistration? Who are magistrates? So let's figure all this out. So we're going to go down a rabbit hole here and the workings of an elected office. So in Bell County, we have 6 justice of the peace. In Precinct 1, we have 1 justice of the peace. In Precinct 2, we have 1 justice of the peace. In Precinct 3, Temple, we have 2 justice of the peace. And in Precinct 4, Killeen, we have 2 justice of the peace. So in Bell County, those justices perform magistration duties. But according to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Section Chapter 2, General Duties and Officers, Article 2.09, who are magistrates? Each of the following officers is a magistrate within the meaning of this code: the justices of the Supreme Court, the judges of the Courts of Criminal Appeals, the justices of the Court of Criminal Court Appeals, the judges of the district courts, the magistrates appointed by the judges of the district courts of Bexar County, Dallas County, Tarrant County, that give preference to criminal procedures, criminal cases, and criminal law hearing officers for Harris County appointed under Subchapter L, Chapter 54 of the Government Code, the criminal law hearing officers of Cameron County. We have magistrates or associate judges appointed by the judges of the District Court of Lubbock County, Nolan County, Webb County, magistrates appointed by the judges of the criminal district courts of Dallas County, Tarrant County, associated judges appointed by the judges of the district courts and the county courts of law, given preference to criminal cases in Jefferson County, associated judges appointed by the judges and district courts of statutory county courts of Brazos County, Nueces County, or Williamson County, magistrates appointed by the judges of the district courts and statutory county courts, given preference to criminal cases in Travis County, and criminal magistrates appointed by the Brazoria County Commissioner's Court, the criminal magistrates appointed by Burnett County Commissioner's Court, the magistrates appointed by the El Paso County of Judges, the county judges, the judges of the County Court of Law, judges of the county criminal courts, the judges of the statutory probate courts, the associate judges appointed by the judges of the statutory probate court under Chapter 54A Government Code, the associate judges appointed by the district court of Chapter 54A of the Government Code, the magistrates appointed under Subchapter JJ, Chapter 54 of the Government Code, the magistrates appointed by the Collin County Commissioners Court, the magistrates appointed by Fort Bend County Commissioners Court, the justice of the peace, and the mayor and recorders of the judges of the municipal courts of incorporated cities or towns. So that is everyone who are considered magistrates by the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. Duties of a magistrate. Article 210 of that same code. It is the duty of every magistrate to preserve the peace within his jurisdiction by the use of all lawful means, to issue all process intended to aid in preventing and suppressing crime, to cause the arrest of offenders by the use of lawful means in order that they may be brought to punishment. So what does that mean? At least in Bell County, what that means is when you get arrested and charged with a crime, if it is a misdemeanor, you have 24 hours. And if it's a felony, you have 48 hours to be read your rights and be charged with a crime. Probable cause affidavit, all these other things, your Miranda warning, all these things that are required by misdemeanor or felony to happen in the jail. So in the county, Bell County, we have one jail, Bell County Jail. It's in Belton. And City of Harker Heights has a holding facility, and the City of Killeen has a holding facility. Belton and Temple used to have one, but that closed down. And they take all of their people, all of their offenders to City of Belton. So in Belton, you have that magistrates in Belton. You will have precinct 1, 2, and 3. That magistrates in the Bell County Jail. That is a total of 4 justices, 4 JPs. In Killeen and Harker Heights, you have a total of 2 JPs that magistrates Killeen and Harker Heights, and they're holding cells. And then after that, they get transferred to Bell County for further processing. And that's the way it has been for years and years. But now something has happened here in the county. On or about December of this year, the City of Killeen sent notice to the Justice of the Peace in Killeen, Precinct 4, that they will no longer be doing some paperwork that has historically been done. And they stopped doing that. So that paperwork, that administrative work, fell to the justices in Precinct 4 that were magistrating in the City of Killeen. Now, our Justice of the Peace, our JPs here in Bell County, they do multiple jobs, multiple jobs. They do their criminal courts, evictions, civil courts, they magistrate, and they perform inquests. So they do a lot of things besides just magistrating alone. But of last year, 2022, RJPs in Bell County magistrated a total of 7,226 people in Bell County combined. That's Bell County Jail, Harker Heights, and Killeen Holding Facilities. 2022. Of those, in Killeen and Harker Heights alone, 3,698 of those individuals were magistrated on the west side of the county, what they call the west side of the county. Pretty much everything west of Nolanville Hill, if you know the makeup of the county. So you have two JPs that magistrated almost 3,700 people. And then on the other side of the county, the east side of the county, you have 4 people that have magistrated 3,528. And the processes are way different. In the county jail, a lot of things are automated and performed by staff at the jail or pretrial services for the justices, for the JPs. On the west side of the county, that work was being done by KPD. But they notified, like I said, the JPs that they were going to stop doing that. And they did. And the JPs continued to magistrate there. But then those JPs gave notice to Killeen that they were no longer going to magistrate there in the jail and that they would have to take all their offenders to Bell County. So that has created some issues at the jail. The jail, we're in the process of doing major construction, remodels and renovations over there. They're renovating a bunch of stuff. I don't even know everything's being renovated, but I do know that it's affecting the magistration room there. So a lot of confusion, a lot of confined space, a lot of people going to Bell County Jail that initially did not go over there so quickly, but now they are. Now they are. So we have an issue where the sheriff's department, who runs the jail, is being overwhelmed with inmates, offenders that are going to be booked into the jail. The jail is overcrowded. We spend over $500,000 a month to house inmates in other facilities outside of Bell County. $500,000 a month. You heard me correctly. And so with the jail already overran and it's unsustainable, according to the sheriff's department, for this to continue. But I was told that when magistration was performed every day at Killeen Holding Facility, those individuals that were magistrated, they didn't have very much time to get a commercial bond. So as soon as they were magistrated, they were given a bond, say, $1,000, whatever it would be. those individuals were getting shipped to Bell County very, very fast. And this is a process, which is double work. I mean, I've been researching this. I've been talking to people. I've been going to the county jail, city of Killeen, and seeing how things are working. And there's a lot of processes that are not talking to each other. With the city of Killeen, Harker Heights, Bell County, double work is being performed. It's not a good system the way that we have it. It's not a good system for the JPs. It's not a good system for the county. It's not a good system for the city of Killeen. At the end of all that is you, the taxpayer, paying for all of this double work that's being done, because Killeen has their own booking software, so to speak. Bell County has another. So if they get booked into Killeen, arrested in Killeen, then go to Bell County Jail, they have to get rebooked in. And instead of just being screened and patted down, they got to go through the whole process of being booked in again. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement in the magistration part of it. And that's only like the technical side. That's only the process side that needs to get addressed. The other issue that needs to get addressed is the volume, the caseload of the justices, the JPs. You have Precinct 4, which is the largest precinct. They're not this. So the JP precincts and constable precincts are not the same as the commissioners. So you have JP Precinct 4 that covers half the county. Over 200,000 people are in Bell County Precinct 4. The county is only 380,000. So you got more than half the county being represented and served by two JPs. The other JPs, now these two JPs in Precinct 4 are Democrats, and these two JPs that are in Precinct 4 are African American. So I hope that doesn't come into this, but you have to be aware of that because those things are true. They're Democrats, they're African American. So you have the other JPs on the east side of the county, other four, that they don't want to come to Killeen and magistrate over here in Killeen. They said this in open court on workshops. They don't want to do it. So the JPs in Precinct 4 wanted to come to the jail, Bell County Jail, and get into the rotation there. Since all the inmates, all the offenders are going to Bell County now, and the JPs in the east side are complaining of all the people that are coming there to get magistrated now. Precinct 4 wanted to come in and get on that rotation, and there was opposition to that. Opposition by the JPs, opposition by the sheriff. Now, no one has given us, the Commissioner's Court, a good answer of why they don't want that help, why they don't want the JPs in Precinct 4 and the rotation at the jail. What that would create is, instead of a 4-person, a 4 JP rotation, where one JP is responsible for magistration every 4 weeks, it would increase that rotation to every 6 weeks. And even the judge county judge said this in court. He doesn't understand why the JPs don't like this plan. You have more time off from magistrating. So instead of once every 4 weeks, it's once every 6 weeks. Who would be opposed to that? I'll tell you. It's the East Side JPs, the JPs in precinct 1, 3, and 2. That's who would be opposed to it. Now, that is something that these are elected officials. All of them are elected officials. All of them have the constitutional right to run their office how they seem fit. And our job as the Commissioner's Court is to fund it. So we're in a position now where we have to make a decision. This is affecting all of the JPs. This is affecting the Sheriff's Department, Bell County Jail, the City of Killeen, and it's on the Commissioner's Court to figure it out. Now, you heard me read this big long list of people who are eligible to be a magistrate. And if the City of Killeen wanted to continue, because the City of Killeen is complaining, and by City of Killeen, I mean KPD, they are complaining because they have to drive their people all the way to Belton. It's taken a long time. And I get it. I get that. But I think if the City of Killeen wants the luxury of maintaining their holding facility the way it is, that they have 2 judges in the City of Killeen, 2 municipal court judges. Those judges magistrate now city ordinance violations. It wouldn't be a hard stretch for them to magistrate for whatever Killeen is doing. But they don't want to do that. But they have that option. And I think if the city really wants to continue to do things the way they were doing them, that would be the easiest option, at least for the City of Killeen. The easiest option for the county, I think, is going to be a little bit more difficult because, like I said, we're dealing with elected officials. We cannot tell those JPs what to do. We can't. But we can allocate resources where they need to go. And to me, it's looking like we're probably going to have to go into pulling magistration from the JPs. In all 254 counties in the state of Texas, I'm sure all their JPs, all of their duties are different. So we need to find what's right for Bell County. And the status quo of what we had here until this last election was working, but now it's not. So a change needs to be made. And this workshop that we're going to have on on Wednesday with all the JPs is an effort to do that, to try and brainstorm and bring all the ideas on the table to see how this is going to get done. So that is what's going on with magistration. Are we going to hire full-time magistrates? Well, that takes legislative action. And we just got done with a legislative year. So it would be 2 years before we could bring this up legislatively and fix this legislatively. So that's not going to be an immediate fix. redraw the lines of the JPs. That was not done after this last census. I don't know why. I wasn't there. Why those lines were not redrawn. But if it was me, I think that's an answer to bring some of the workload balance. If you put the JPs, and I guess the most equitable thing to do, at least now from what I see without any research, would be just put the JPs and constables in line with the county commissioner seats. All of those are roughly 95, 92,000, somewhere in that range per precinct. And you wouldn't have this lopsidedness where you have one precinct representing over half the county. Like I said, I think that's something that should have been addressed after the last redistricting. The commissioner's court that's on there now, I'm the only different one. They knew this, but they chose not to do anything. They knew this then, but they chose not to do anything. I don't know why. I'm going to have to pull it up in the records and see why they did not redraw and redistrict the JPs. I was told because retired JP Justice Cook did not want the lines changed, but he retired. He's gone. He retired last year. So because he didn't want the lines drawn, that's what he got. And now we're stuck with this because they wanted to try to accommodate and appease one man. At least that's what I'm told. I don't know if that's what actually happened. But I was just told that Cook didn't want the lines redrawn. But we'll have to further investigate that. But so that's kind of two options right there. One will take at least a minimum of 2 years, 3 years to happen. Redistricting, we could do that without any changes, but that would just change the caseloads and some of the lines. Truancy, that's a whole nother ordeal that we're going to have to figure out, but that's another JP duty and responsibility. So that's something that we're going to have to address here pretty soon. So yeah, I'm hoping that with our meeting on Monday or Wednesday, that we're able to figure this out. So now you know why magistration is on the commissioner's court by itself. Now the judge said he's going to have pizza there, so I think it'll be interesting. People talking with pizza in their mouth, but okay. But yeah, no, it's we need the workload to be equitable across the county with everyone. We need the processes to be equitable across the county with everyone. And we need things to be efficient across the county with everyone. And that's even the municipality, Killeen, Harker Heights, Temple, Belton, all of those. We need to reduce the jail population. We need to open up minimum security. We need to bring the people back. We need to open up the diversion center so the county is not paying $500,000 a month. And obviously, the more people we arrest, the more people that we're sending out of the county, the more people that we're holding. This is a holistic approach that people have to look at. The criminal justice system here in the county, there is a clog in the system somewhere. And I am eagerly and thoroughly trying to investigate where is this clog in the system, because I was astonished to find out, astonished that our friends to the south, our neighbors to the south, Williamson County, who is double our size, almost 700,000, 800,000 population, they have a jail similar in size to Bell County, about 1,200, 1,300, somewhere in there. But their jail population is 600 people. So you have a county who is double our size, more than double our size, with the same size of jail that we have, but their jail population is only 600-ish. So what are they doing wrong? Or I'm sorry, right. What are they doing right that we're not doing? So, yeah, like I said, there is a clog in the system. I was told that no one in jail is a misdemeanor that's been there for a long time, but I don't see how that can be. And if that's the case, then we got a bunch of felonies that are clogging up the system. And it would be the felony, the district courts that are slowing things down, or the DA that's slowing things down. But yeah, I don't know the answer. At the end of the day, we need to keep the public safe. We need to keep the county safe. Violent offenders, violent crimes, those people need to be in jail. They don't need to be out on the streets. But if it's not a violent crime, I think we should be looking at some type of, probation at home or ankle monitors, something where we don't, if the district courts, whenever they came and talked to us for their budget, they said they need to be disposing of, I think, 13 cases a day, if I remember correctly, somewhere in there. They said they have 4,000 criminal cases backlog, active cases that they got to go through. I don't know how much time that would take to do, but I think it's going to take some time. So maybe they need some additional masters or associate judges to help out. Then we get into room, where we're going to place them. Where are they going to, get funding from? It's a whole bunch of things. It's complicated. But like I said, Williamson County is doing something right. And I'm trying to learn how Bell County's processes are, and then also trying to learn how Williamson County's processes are, and seeing what we can take from there. But yeah, we're spending a lot of money, and if we can reduce our jail population, keep the public safe, magistrate people, get them in and out of jail, get them time served, get any plea deals, plea bargains, whatever. But, start working hard to reduce this, because like I said, I think that it's unsustainable, the amount of people that we're incarcerating. And we're going to definitely have to start looking at some other aspects of detention, deferment, probation, while you're waiting for your day in court. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. We got an interesting court for Monday, June 5th. So please follow tune in, watch, come to the meeting. It's school's out now. A lot of people have graduated. A lot of graduations. No one's in school anymore. So come out, get involved with your government. Let your voice be heard. And we will see you next week.